Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because I'm going away tomorrow for a few days, and I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to have content to put out. I wanted to get one more video up before I left you guys hanging for a few days, and thankfully, I have found the perfect opportunity because, as I'm sure you are all aware, Death Stranding 2 has come out. People say it's amazing. Personally, I haven't played it. I don't have a PS5. I will not be playing it, I don't think. I just don't ever see myself getting into even the first Death Stranding. And honestly, I think farming salt around a lot of these games is more fun than actually playing them a lot of the time, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing today, because I found that, not a thread necessarily, but basically I found this reply to a Kojima tweet where he was flexing the scores of Death Stranding 2. And basically the dude was just begging Kojima to never put the game on Xbox. I mean, just look at this. Kojima posts some artwork. It shows all the high scores the game has gotten. And then literally for no reason whatsoever, there's no context for it or anything. There was no mention of Xbox or anything like that. And then this guy, who ironically enough is named Based, when in fact he is the furthest thing from that, replied and said, "Don't launch DS2 on Xbox. They don't deserve it. PlayStation gave you all the resources to create your amazing game. From the Decima engine to the publishing, Xbox owners don't buy games. How many copies DS1 sold on Xbox? 5K? You have to appreciate the value Sony gives to you. Yes, please don't launch Death Stranding 2 on Xbox because you have to appreciate what Sony's done for you, dude. Look at all this stuff they've given to you. Please be nice to Sony and don't release the game on other platforms." The fact that people take time out of their day to write this crap and then post it and think it's a good idea is wild to me. And dear God, dude, just look at that ratio. 193 replies and 100 likes. Oh my God. But dude, like, this is just ridiculous. Why would you want this? Oh, you have to appreciate the value Sony gave you. My brother in Christ, it's called a business agreement. Sony gives them money or helps with the game, or, you know, both. And then Kojima releases the game exclusive to PlayStation for an agreed upon amount of time. Once that agreed upon time is up, why wouldn't he put the game on Xbox? It's literally free money. My friend, this is what we call business. There isn't some like, oh, well, you know, I appreciate what you guys did, so you know what, I'm gonna keep the game exclusive to you for a bit longer. No, he fulfilled his end of the deal, so now he's gonna do what he wants with his own game. And where did you get the number 5,000 from? We have no idea exactly how many copies Death Stranding 1 sold on Xbox, but it definitely wasn't 5,000. I mean, the game has been in the top sellers on Xbox for a while now. In fact, I believe when it initially dropped, it was actually in the top 3 just behind Black Ops 6. Oh, but sorry, my bad. Black Ops 6 on Xbox actually sold 6,000 copies. So then Death Stranding 1 only sold 5,000. That's why it was right behind it. At least, you know, that's the kind of logic these guys would like to use. But yeah, I just wanted to take a look at some of the replies to this and this dude's response to the replies because it is very entertaining. So yeah, let's take a look, shall we? First off, Yemi96 replies, "Look at this effing loser begging." And then Based replies by attacking his looks. "How you have the audacity to call someone a loser when you are literally this, the definition of soy boy." I don't see what about him makes him a soy boy. Is it the massive games collection in the background? Because, I mean, you can think that's cringe or whatever, but that doesn't invalidate what he said. Let's get this very clear. If you actively go on Twitter and beg for companies to not put games on other platforms, you are, in fact, a loser. Literally, what do you gain from Death Stranding 2 not going to Xbox? Nothing. You just don't want Xbox players to have it because it's not gonna sell as well over there as on PlayStation. Did you ever think that maybe it would sell better if it was there sooner, or, you know, day and date? Or do we live in your magical fantasy world where games only sell 5,000 copies on Xbox? Also, keep this whole sales argument in mind. It's gonna come up again later. All right, next up, Colt Eastwood just replies with a picture of the Kojima Xbox collaboration that's happening right now. And then Based replies, "As long as PlayStation is the publisher on PC, Xbox won't see DS2. It looks like like Sony will publish the game on PC. Anyway, you Xbots don't buy games, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And then Colt replies, stop crying. Death Stranding 2 hit number 3 best sold on Xbox console while it was in Game Pass. Get a new tissue, you got that one wet. And then BEGS replies again and says Death Stranding was never in Xbox Game Pass, it was in PC Game Pass. And as far as I remember, DS1 didn't hit the top 10. Anyway, being in the top 10 1 week in Xbox means you have sold 10k copies at maximum. Okay, I'd just like to ask, what is your source for these numbers exactly? That being in the top 10 means you sold 10,000 copies maximum? Oh, you don't have a source? You're just making that up? Yeah, that sounds about right. I do not understand how people can be so confidently incorrect on the internet. It's actually mind-boggling to me. We live in this beautiful day and age where we have the knowledge of the world at our fingertips. You can look anything up that you want on a phone, and people still cannot be bothered to do it. Not to mention, PlayStation did not publish Death Stranding on PC. It was 505 Games that published it on PC and on Xbox. And you have no idea if Sony's gonna publish the game on PC. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll have to see. Not to mention, you do know that Kojima now has full ownership of Death Stranding, right? Like, Sony doesn't own it anymore. So it absolutely will be coming to PC, probably in the near future, and Xbox, maybe not for a little bit, but it more than likely will make its way over. Alright, what's up next? Oh, it's Colt again. This time he replies with a picture of Phil and Kojima together, and then BEGS replies, are you okay, Colt? You are like 45 years old, right? What in the hell are you doing replying 5 times to a complete X-random account talking about a video game? And then Colt just responds, don't put your trauma on me, lol. I just think it's rich that this dude is trying to call out Colt for responding a couple times with different images of Kojima and Xbox together, when this guy is presumably a grown adult who saw Kojima tweet out something about high review scores and thought, you know how I should reply to this? Not by congratulating Kojima, but by instead begging him to not put the game on Xbox, because I don't like Xbox players and for some reason blindly believe that even the best-selling games over there only sell 10,000 copies, which is exactly why developers continue to put games on Xbox. Am I right? Like, that's one of the biggest things for me. These guys always tout how little games sell on Xbox, and all I'm sitting here thinking is, if they sell so poorly, why do devs keep putting their games over there? It's almost like there's still money to be made. Alrighty, what's up next? Hey, it's Light Shadow Onyx. This guy's in my comments all the time. Meanwhile, Death Stranding is the 22nd best-selling game on the Xbox store. And then BEGS replies, this is completely false, but being 22 in Xbox means you have sold like 10k copies. Nothing to celebrate here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. I could have sworn just a minute ago you were saying that being in the top 10 means you sold 10k copies on Xbox, and now all of a sudden being 22nd means that you've sold 10k copies? Something's not adding up here. It's almost like you're just completely talking out your ass and you have no idea how well the game has sold. The game probably sold more than 10k copies in its first day on Xbox, let alone in the last several months that it's been there. Alrighty, what do we have next? Okay, we have this guy named Joe just saying, Kojima, please don't make any more revenue for your game in studio. Sony is more than enough. Yeah, that basically is what he's saying. Even though exclusive third party has proven to be detrimental to many games in the industry, foolish fanatics behavior, this game should be everywhere so anyone can play. And then BEGS just replies, revenue? What revenue? Selling 10k copies on Xbox? That doesn't even cover the cost of porting the game to Series X and S. Okay, well, first of all, you need to learn the difference between revenue and profit. Revenue is just all the money you've made off the game. You start earning profit after you break even on your initial investment and then earn extra revenue on top of that. So let's get that out of the way first of all. Second of all, you're just making stuff up again. How do you know that doesn't cover the cost of porting the game to Xbox? You have no idea how much the port costs. Don't tell me you're one of those people who thinks that ports of games cost just as much to make as the original game. I actually did some research here to try at least and find some numbers. And what I'm showing right here on screen right now are the leaked costs of PlayStation PC ports. As you can see, it's estimated that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart cost $2.5 million, Spider-Man cost $2.3 million. You know what's funny about the cost of these ports? They are about a 50th to a 100th of the cost of making the original game. So let's assume, for example, that Death Stranding's Xbox port cost $2 million. It was probably less than that because, I mean, they had to port it from PS5, and the PS5 and Series X are similar in power. But whatever, let's assume that it cost $2 million just to be fair. $2 million divided by $40 per copy of the game means that the game would only have to sell about 50,000 copies on Xbox to break even, which is probably a low ball for how much the game actually sold. Again, we don't know how much the game sold on Xbox, but something tells me it didn't sell only 10,000 copies on Xbox. If you could provide a source for that information, then maybe I'd believe you. But you can see in this video, I'm going through a lot of replies. He hasn't provided a single source, and he doesn't have a blue check mark, which means he couldn't be engagement farming for money. So this dude's literally just delusional, I guess. I don't know. All right, now for this last one, this conversation is in Spanish, but using the power of my big brain and Google Translate, I was able to decipher what they were saying. So the first guy says, "You're a total idiot, bro." And then Base replies and says, "Awesome argument, dude." Which I just like to point out, this dude literally has more evidence of you being an idiot than you do of Death Stranding 2 only selling 10,000 copies on Xbox. That aside, let's continue on. Kojima's going to do whatever the F he wants to do with his game, and even more so since this one is from Kojima Productions, and he's not going to pay any attention to your crappy message. And then Base replies and says, "Of course, he's probably not going to pay any attention to me or even read it. It's just my opinion. Now, as long as the console and PC publishing rights belong to Sony, I can tell you that Kojima is going to do whatever the F he wants." And there's a lot more to this thread, but I'm gonna stop it there just for time's sake. Again, though, I'd like to point out that yes, Sony published Death Stranding on PlayStation, but 505 Games published it on Xbox and PC. I would imagine the same thing is gonna happen to Death Stranding 2. And then I love how this guy admits that he knows Kojima isn't gonna read what he says or listen to him. So then what was the point of saying that? Did you want to make yourself look like an ass? Just begging for other people to not be able to play games because, I don't know, you're a PlayStation fanboy? Like, that's the only reason I can think of. Like, bro was just posting stuff on Twitter because he could. Which, I mean, fair enough. That's the beautiful thing about social media, is that anybody can post basically anything they want within, you know, the restrictions of the app or whatever. But sometimes putting a little bit of brain power into what you're posting goes a long way. So if you take anything away from this video, just please remember, actually think about what you're posting before you do it, because it is true what they teach you in school. Anything you put out on the internet is permanent. Your digital footprint is real. And even if you type something out and then a couple minutes later delete it, you have no idea if somebody maybe saw it and took a screenshot of it. I don't know why this is turning into an online safety lecture, but whatever. Think before you post. That's the point. And yeah, anyway, guys, with all that being said, that's all I've got for this video. Like I said, I'm going away for a couple days, but I wanted to get this video out before I left. And hopefully when I come back, there will be more stuff to talk about. We shall see. We are getting into July, which tends to be a pretty bad month for YouTube and gaming as a whole. Although, then again, the Ghost of Yote Direct is happening soon, right? So, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Salt streams, except tonight, because I don't have time to do it tonight, but whatever, every Wednesday besides tonight. And join us every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for gaming streams on the gaming channel, and I will catch you all next time.